good evening, good afternoon. What else? Good in the middle of the night. I'm not sure what time it is for you wherever you're at, but I hope at this very moment that you are scroll through and you stop, that your day goes good. And even if that is the message you need to hear and you keep strolling, thanks for stopping by. This is your girl Donna Denise Walker, and I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys a little bit. My avatar, so please forgive a sister. But just wanted to come on here and talk to you guys. So do me a favor while you're here, please hit the like button, share this video with your friends and family, or whoever you think might want to hear what I have to say. And please subscribe to the channel. So I'm going to share real fast, and then I'll get into my conversation. I wanted to talk about last night. I was on live last night about, I think, twice or three times. I don't know. I was living it up yesterday. And that was a very interesting conversation. So I want to talk about that. And then I want to talk about my meal because I didn't have a chance to finish my live and tell you guys about my meal. But I do have a short up showing what I made. So let me share this really fast. Come on in. If you're listening to this live, leave your comments. And if you happen to be listening to this and it's not live, leave your comments anyway. I will respond to you. All right, let me share this real fast. Okay. All right. So what's up, everybody? How you doing? How's everybody doing? Oh my God. So I went live yesterday and I had a hot subject that was sent in by Bree. So shout out to Bree. Thank you so much. Bree actually emailed me and I want to respond to Bree's email. But her first email was a really good subject. So if anything, if you want to go back to my lives from yesterday, I did talk about it in the I talked about it. I mean, I had like three different subjects, but they're all wrapped up into one based on the the information that she sent me via email, which was really good. So thank you. And so anyway, I was on there yesterday. I was cooking, and I made yellow rice. What's up? How you doing? Thank you. You know what? That's I appreciate that. I thought my voice sounded graspy because I slept in today, and I'm like just waking up. That's why I got my avatar on because, honey, I would scare y'all away. But thank you, I appreciate that. Um, so was it Jay McClay? Thank you so much. I appreciate you. But I wanted to talk about yesterday. I wanted to actually apologize for yesterday. I was very emotional. I thought I did the what is it, the Violet Davis tears, but I caught myself real fast and I turned on my avatar. Hey, how are you doing? I hope you're having a beautiful day. So I just wanted to come on here and apologize for yesterday. So, and just to explain what's going on in my world, why did I break down the way I did? And I'm hoping you guys forgive me, but without putting this particular person's very dear, very close. Um, but anyway, we were given some sad news a couple of weeks ago that they have, went to the doctors and found out that they had cancer and it was spreading. And it's like things like this is like all of a sudden it just pops up, you know what I'm saying? And it takes everybody off your guard. It's like, it just creeps up in the middle of the night, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, as the news went on, we're at the stage right now figuring out what's going on, and it has been confirmed that it's stage 4 cancer. Some people, when they hear those terminologies, they're like, "Oh, it's over. Pack your bags up. Let's go." But unfortunately, and I do say unfortunately, I've been dealing with uh, the word cancer ever since my son now, who you guys see every once in a while. He's been dealing with cancer from when he was a little boy, and when he was first diagnosed, they told us it was stage 4 cancer. And when you hear stage 4 cancer, the first time I ever heard that, well, first of all, I heard it the first time hearing cancer. You hear it in the movies, you hear it on TV, and you go through their world through TV, which is very dramatic. And so you don't know what to expect because you never think that something like that can happen to you. And so when the doctors told me that my son, who was just a little boy just learning how to walk, had cancer, it scared me and it made me feel helpless. I didn't know what to do. But one of the things the doctors did say is that what you need to do is you need to let us be doctors. You need to pray. And you need to be as normal as possible for your son, because what your son does not need to see you do is break down. And he's thinking it's hopeless. And, you know, having hope is a very important process of the whole thing. We had a happy ending because although throughout my son, unfortunately, is always having to deal with, you know, outbreaks of different types of cancer because of the harsh treatment that he got from the chemo and the radiation and stuff like that. His body is more susceptible to tumors and stuff like that. So we're actually dealing with things like that. When this close member, and we're recently dealing with, like me, I had, I told you guys about my situation. When they found a tumor that was wrapped around my lungs and my spine, for me, I was very fortunate. It was not cancerous, but it was like, it's just a story that just keeps popping up over and over and over again. And it's just so overwhelming. So when this family member said that this is something they're going through, trying to be strong for them, I call myself getting on social media, doing my videos, just trying to be as normal as possible. So the reason why I'm apologizing, because there was a person in the chat that said they've a friend of theirs had just passed away from cancer, and it just knocked me off my feet. I didn't know how to respond to them. I didn't want to be negative. I didn't want to be, I just wanted to be there for that person. And in that moment, I broke down and I started crying. And I walked away from the camera because I didn't want anybody to see me crying, especially the person who that was a lot for them to just open up. With situations like that, you don't know how to deal with it. You're very emotional. And, so I wanted to be there for that person. And I definitely didn't want to make it about me. But I broke down and so I came off. So I wanted to come on here and apologize for that because I felt like that might have been a little unprofessional, or I don't know what it was, but I just wanted to apologize and say my prayers for that person, and virtual hugs and be there mentally as possible for them. And I prayed for that person last night. I really did. Because that word, I just want to abolish it. Don't want to ever hear that word again. It gets overwhelming. It's too much. It takes away your smile. It takes away a lot. And that's the reason why I just want to say sorry. So yesterday, in spite of all of that, the reason why I came on, shout out to Bree, because Bree came on the live to hear me shout her out for the suggestion that they gave for yesterday's live. And she gave me some words of encouragement. Do not know this person, but I feel like I know this person, if that makes any sense. And she was like, your tears are okay. You know, they're genuine, which they are very genuine. And while keeping this person in prayer, keep yourself in prayer. And this too shall pass. And it sounds like I got it, what she was saying. But it just feels like, oh, it's so overwhelming. It's just so much, you know. And I've lost a lot of people to cancer. You know what I'm saying? Cancer has just been a plague, you know, and it comes up like out of the blue. Like it comes up like ridiculous. It's like why is it there? So I'm gonna keep on praying, and I pray that a cure comes out. I really do. I used to have this nonprofit, but to be honest with you, we didn't know how to make it a nonprofit, but we tried. Hey, how are you doing? Hello. So anyway, I used to have this nonprofit, and I kind of blended into where, you know, I like my world, which is I know a lot of people who perform and they sing. And so I did this thing called Essence of the Art, and I also did J-Walk production. And both of them were where I would basically get with the community. I would get the community to donate like a place, food, you know what I'm saying? I would get with the singers and and um poets, and I would say, hey, listen, I'm trying to raise monies for, and I raise monies for Make a Wish, Brittle Bone, different variants, you know, different places that support their different, you know, cancers and stuff like that. And and what I did was I got everybody to volunteer, and 100% of the proceeds of the people who paid to come there will go towards sickle cell anemia, definitely that. And I did that for a while, and that was really nice. And I think I'm gonna go back just doing something like that again to feel like I'm doing something. And like just I don't know. I mean, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, I'm just a nobody. But I wish I knew like I could snap my fingers and come up for a cure for something like that, because you know, just I just remember when my son was a little boy, and it was at the time neuroblastoma. They were just trying to figure out different protocols to try to come up with. Um, Forgive me, guys. I'm just so emotional. I shouldn't have come on here. But anyway, I just wanted to apologize because that person must have been so devastated yesterday. But I just remember when my son was little, and there was these other kids, and I bonded with their parents. And it was a total, I think, of 10 children that all had neuroblastoma. Well, thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate that. I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, there was like 10 children that had neuroblastoma, and two of them survived. And I bonded with the parents. And just remember, this one parent got on the phone and she told, I'll tell you that, guys. The story another time. I can't even tell that. And I was just so devastated. But the reason why I brought that up was because I remember the conversations with the parents. Now, the perspective that I can come on there is when I remember talking to the other parents, and it was just going through all of that. It was so much. I'm sorry again, guys. I'm sorry. I'm so emotional, and I'm trying not to be. And again, I was trying to come on here, and that person, I don't know if they were just going through and they saw my channel and it just felt like, and I get that person. I really do, because sometimes you just want to, and it's probably why I'm on here talking to you guys, because I really got to be the strong person. I really do. I can't. It's a lot. It's a lot. But anyway, I really want to do that. I want to get together. I want to start that nonprofit back up again. I don't know how I'm going to do it, because back then I had such a momentum. I was a new person in town, and people, it was like a new concept of where I was, and people really didn't do that. They didn't do really events like I was doing. There were some people were doing it because obviously I hooked up with them, but for the most part, people didn't really do that. And so I think I want to try to go back to that again. Um, you know, it's kind of hard to find people nowadays to just volunteer their time and just do it for no money and just do it for the cause. But then sometimes I know that people have to get paid because, they're giving the services. I get that. But I had such a great momentum back then, because the and these were some talented people, like people that you probably know or probably will never know. And it was kind of the angle why I got into the online radio that I did. One was Blog Talk Radio, which you guys are probably very familiar with. And then the other one was 106 TBC Radio. Like, and I from that I got a lot of those people to come on my radio station, and they would talk about, their singing and how they wanted to get into the business. So I got those people to volunteer to come to the event. And the event was very good, because there was like, I remember the I did one that had like 2,000 people. I did a smaller one that was like 300. It was really good, and we raised money for sickle cell anemia. We raised Rose. Um, Thank you, love. We raised money for what was it? Brittle bones. We raised money for Make a Wish Foundation. We raised money for them. I have a story to tell about them. When my son was sick, and this is another reason why I get into this, because when my son was sick, and me and my husband, now mind you, we had two kids. We have a total of three boys, but we had two boys at the time. I call my boys, they're not twins, but they were born right behind the other, so you might as well call them twins. They did everything that twins do. But anyway, my we were young parents and very emotional what we were going through. It was a lot on the both of us. And I remember going to my doctor, and I'm going to say his name, Dr. Gold. Just amazing doctor. His whole team, they really cared about the children. They really did. And we were going through it. We going through, and so he goes, "I'm gonna get you with our social worker." And I'm like, "Social worker?" And she says, "Yeah, I'm gonna get you with our social worker, and let's see what we could do for you guys, because you're caregivers. You need a break." And so I was like, "No, I just want to just be there for my son." So they were like, "All right, we're gonna get you with Make a Wish Foundation." Now I've heard of Make a Wish. Everybody knows about Make a Wish Foundation, right? And so the lady from Make a Wish was like, "Your son has to be the one that makes the wish." And of course, he wanted to go to Disney World. And he goes, "I want to go Disney World and Disneyland." And he did it. And we went there. And it was like for a moment, we just got away from everything. So beautiful. And then it was this organization. They were a biker organization. And so when we went through the whole chemo and the radiation and all of that, they put us in a Ronald McDonald house, right? Which the families there were beautiful, and the whole atmosphere is like catered to the kids. So it was like another break, mind break, so to speak. So this biker organization came up, and they decided all the kids that were in the Ronald McDonald at the time at the house, that whatever bills that the parents have, they're going to pay it off. And at the time, we were like, we didn't know. It was like, okay, we're going to put gas in the car so we can go up and be with our child, and we're not going to eat. Or we're going to make sure that our kids are eating. We're not going to pay this bill. That's how our life was lifing at the time. And they came and paid all of our bills. We were able to purchase a house, for it. So it was our first house. And I said, "Oh my God, if I could ever give back, that's what I'm going to do." And I did it. And I was so proud of myself. And it lasted till it didn't. After a while, it became a little bit, it wasn't where we could really afford it anymore, because a lot of times in the very beginning, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, I'll do this, I'll do that." Then after a while, they were like, "Well, we're going to have to charge you for this," because they saw how big the crowd was coming in, which is really kind of sad, because the 100% of the proceeds was going back to the cause. And there was this one cause that I was very like, I really cared about, because I interviewed this one boy named Darnell. And if I could find it, I'm going to put it up so you guys can see it. And he had sickle cell anemia. And I think he was like 20 something, maybe 26, 27. I can't remember. Young, you know what I'm saying? And he had sickle cell anemia, and he was in this camp. And he started off being in the camp for the sickle cell anemia. And then he realized that a lot of times they would have the camp, but a lot of the kids would have to go home because their immune system wasn't at where it was, and they had to go home and go to the doctor. So this particular group was they had these doctors that would come and volunteer to be there so the kids could actually have fun and be there. And if something went wrong, there was a doctor to handle it. And if they can handle it, they could stay. So Darnell took it in his mission, being a kid who had sickle cell anemia, took it on his mission that he was into fashion. So he was doing a nonprofit where the proceeds would go back to that. And I interviewed him, and unfortunately he passed. And I said, "Oh my God, I'm going to do this." So that was towards the ending of me doing the volunteering for you not volunteer for doing the charity events. So it became a little bit more expensive because now we're taking out of our pocket, and we just couldn't afford it. But we did a couple events and it was so nice and everything else like that. So I always say I wanted to give back because, that biker group, when I saw them when they drove up, it was so interesting because I was sitting outside and, around their little garden area, which was so beautiful. And this group of individuals come driving up on a bike. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I was like, oh my God, what is going on? So I going back inside. And they knocked on the door, and the person who was at the front desk, and like they talked to them, and she just started crying. I'm like, what is she crying for? I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? She said, she told me, can you go to the mothers and bring them all down here, the fathers and the mothers? And they just got us in a group and they said, these individuals are going to pay off all of your bills. And we looked at each other like, what in the Sam hippie? They're going to pay off your bills. And so, they vetted them, make sure. And sure enough, they pay off all the bills. And I was like, oh my God. I said, I don't know if I'll ever be in that position, but if I ever am in that position, that is my mission. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard, because a lot of times when a lot of these young ladies and young men who are young, or even older people in families, these medical bills are a lot, and back then, and now I don't even want to talk about it now. Now it's just ridiculous. But, I remember sitting down talking to the mothers and fathers, and we all had similar stories. We would go without, and we would laugh about it. We made a joke about it. Would you go without? I went without this, I went without that, and, and but that was real talk. So, I'm sorry again for coming on here and talking about this. I guess I needed to release because I don't want my family members, and I know they're probably going to see this and be like, oh my God. So apologies, overall, everybody. But I just don't want them to see me crying. I know the one individual I told you that has, was going through, probably doesn't go on YouTube. So thank goodness for that. I don't want them to see that I'm not strong. I want to be there for them and everything. Um, but yeah, that's I think that's the reason why, you know, my prayers go out to the family. I know they're going through a lot because they probably went through a lot prior to all of that. I don't know what their journey was, but I'm sure it wasn't an easy one. It's never easy to see a loved one, friend, spouse, sibling, neighbor, whatever. It's never easy to see that. It really is. And I remember there was a neighbor, never knew her or anything, but I just remember her, very healthy woman. She would come out, she'd say hello. It just seemed so nice, so sweet. And then all of a sudden, I just saw her in the house all the time. And, we would knock on the door every once in a while, check up on her. And she was like, she always wanted to cook, just as frail as she was. And she had cancer too, and it took her out of this world. And I just remember, her family, the emotions that they were going through. So this is just a very hard disease. And if that is one thing, if I became a billionaire, oh my goodness, honey, I would just go to the ends of the earth to find a cure for that and for so many other illnesses out there. I really would. Um, Thank you guys for listening to me. I appreciate you. Um, I'm sorry this was a very emotional live. I probably needed to just talk. Don't gotta. Sorry about that. Y'all are my therapy. I don't have a psychologist to go to. Don't have the money. And they probably say, "Girl, you are a mess." So please forgive me everything. Thank you. I appreciate it. I honestly did need to. I did need to just talk and get it out. So I can just like wipe the tears away and just focus to be there for my family members. So they really need it more than ever. It is really, it's very important, you know, that you don't, because when somebody's going through that, the worst thing they need is for you always sitting there go, oh my God, I'm so, or trying to diagnose their situation. Don't do that. Just be there for them. And if they need to cry, cry there with them. If they need to talk about it, let them talk about it. And if they want to talk about something else, talk about something else. Because this is their journey. You just need to be there with them for it. That's the most important thing. All right, I'm going to come off of here. I'm going to, get myself ready for the day. I'm not cooking anything today, so I'm going to kind of take a break. But tomorrow, I want to make some cornbread. I'm in the mood for cornbread. I've been in the mood for cornbread for the longest time. Some fried chicken and cornbread. That's what I'm in the mood for. So tomorrow I'm going to make some fried chicken and some cornbread. So if you guys want to join me, and if you guys have like yeah, look, my grandmother, I know, I'm sure everybody has a story of a family member who makes the best fried chicken, but y'all, my grandmother made the best fried chicken. It was so freaking delicious. And she did it with I have one of those pots. I use it all the time. The cast iron pots. She fried it up in there. And boy, and she used to always, for some reason, when she made fried chicken, she would make collard greens, cornbread, and apple pie. For some reason, that was her combination of food. And I remember as a kid, that's why I used to laugh at the Eddie Murphy jokes I don't know if you guys ever heard it, when Eddie Murphy was like, um, they were so poor that they couldn't go out to McDonald's and eat. So his mom would make him a hamburger and the onions would be sticking outside of the hamburger. And he's like, that's not McDonald's. But when he got older, that hamburger was like he couldn't wait to go back and get it. That's so me. Like my grandmother would make these certain foods and I'd be like, can we go out and eat? And she's like, no, but you need to go out and eat. I could cook all the foods you need right here. And now that I'm older and I'm like, man, I miss her fried chicken, cornbread, and collard greens. Like, I don't know. This is the thing with my grandma, maybe because I was a kid and you just don't pay attention to that stuff. I would look in the refrigerator and there would be like nothing in the refrigerator. I'm like, and she'd be like, I got something. And all of a sudden she go up in her freezer, the cabinets, and she started cutting and cooking and the whole neighborhood be knocking. And we lived in the projects in the Bronx. So she had like one of those terraces. And she used to take her apple pie and sit it outside, after she would cook it. Oh, delicious, guys. Anyway, I'm going to come off of here. You guys, I hope you join me tomorrow. I'm not going to do anything today. I'm just going to sit back, eat leftovers. We had pinto beans, some rice, and pinto beans. Let me see, pinto beans, rice, and yellow rice, and we got that left over, so we're gonna eat that tonight. And tomorrow, I'm gonna cook for you guys some fried chicken. So I don't know if I'm gonna do collard greens. I might just go out and get some glory greens. I know it's not like my grandma's kitchen. Some glory greens and some cornbread, and that's what I'm making. I'm gonna make it in my the big industrial thing that my husband got me. So anyway, I'm gonna get him off of here. Sorry for the tears, but thank you for listening. I appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. Um, Thank you so much. And one more thing before I go, and this is the most important thing. I love you, man.